So we have seen actually how to create the online store, how to add products to that store, and how to actually have some different categories, and of course how to place those products into the categories. So in this tutorial we'll actually have a look at the checkout itself. So from the top menu I will go to systems, and then I'll go all the way down to the configuration. This will now bring me to my configuration page. As you can see here on the left hand side, we can find many different available options. So we can actually go into general, and we can do some catalog stuff, we can actually go and set the customers, but if we go down here to sales, we'll actually find the checkout. So in this tutorial, as I've said, we're gonna cover the checkout. So click on checkout. And here we're gonna get some options about the checkout. So first of all, let's go into the checkout options. The very first option available to us will actually enable one-page checkout. By default this is set to yes. You can go yes or you can change to no. What this basically means is whether or not you would like your store to have one-page checkout. So basically if a customer decides to buy something, do you want that customer to be sent to some other page to actually complete the order, or would you like that to be done on the same page? Well, it's really good to have it just on one page, as most of the customers do not actually like jumping from one website to another, so we'll leave this as yes. Then we have the allow guest checkout. Basically what this means is that you do not want your customers, all of your customers, to be registered on your site. So you can have some guests actually placing some orders and purchasing stuff. So basically I will say yes, as most people actually do not like to become members of some different sites and so on. You can either go yes or no, so that would, in my opinion, strongly suggest yes. And then we come to enable terms and conditions. By default this is actually set to no, but I will strongly suggest you go to yes. And the reason being is that you will actually allow your customers to actually read some terms and conditions before they actually placed any orders. So if you have some special instructions and so on, this is where this would go. Now I would also recommend you probably get some of the legal guys to actually make up these terms and conditions, someone who actually know a lot about sales, and they can aid you in actually creating these terms and conditions agreement in a way. So basically, because this is a demo and I do not have terms and conditions, I will just say no for this time. And then we're actually going to go into shopping cart. And here the very first option would be to actually redirect your customers to a shopping cart once they have actually added something. Now this is a good idea, but actually I would like to keep it as no. So basically when my customer just adds something to their cart, they will actually remain on the page or go to the next page or something like that, rather than actually going to the shopping cart page. Now the next two options are all to do with images. So basically this is what image is displayed on the cart while the person is viewing it. So you can go with product thumbnails itself, or you can go with parent product thumbnails. And in the second option you can select from the two options which are actually exactly the same. So the last two options here are all about what the person actually sees in their cart when they're actually viewing it. So this will actually set up your cart, so basically whether or not to redirect the customers to the shopping cart after they have added something. So basically I would say no, I want them to stay on the same page. Once again, this is up to you whether or not you would like them to go to that particular page. And the last two options are actually what they see once they're viewing the cart, or how they see the product and everything else. Going down, we'll find my cart link. And what this actually is how you would like to display your cart summary. So basically you can choose whether you want to display item quantities, or you can actually go here and display number of items. Basically I would just go to the first one, so I'm going to display number of items. The next option deals with shopping cart sidebar. So basically, do we want this visible? Yes, we do. I suggest that it's well, in my opinion, it's a good thing, and maximum number of items to be displayed. Now you can put any number here, but just keep in mind that if you increase this number, the actual process will get a little bit slower. So I wouldn't go bigger than 3 or maybe even 2, but let's keep it at 3 for now. Alright, and the last actual option here we have to set up is the payment failed emails. Now what happens if the customer wants to buy something, however the payment has been declined for some reason or it has failed? So who should be informed, who should inform those people, and what actually happens thereafter? So the very first option will actually set who is the receiver. So if you go down here, you can have the sales representative, customer support, custom email 1, custom email 2, and so on. I would just like to keep this at general contact. Of course, depending on how big your store is and how many people are actually working for you. If you have a sales representative, you would go sales representative, or customer support, or custom email here. So if you put a custom email here, you would have to set up a custom email of that person who actually gets informed. So let's go back and change it to general. Alright, this is the actual person who is a sender of the email. So once again, you have the same options here. You can go sales representative or customer support, custom email 1 and custom email 2. So basically this is who is sending the email that the payment has actually failed to the receiver, this person here. So basically I will just keep it as, well, I do not have a sales representative in my team, so I'll just go general contact. When it actually comes to payment failed template, currently I believe we have only one, so therefore we will select this. This is a default template. And the very next option, you would have a send payment failed email copy to. So you probably put yourself here, I personally would, so you put your email address here, and actually you would get a copy of this email sent. The last option is actually send payment failed email copy method. So basically, how would you like this email which is being sent to this person to be sent? Would you like it to be a BCC, or you can actually go and create a separate mail? Well, personally what I like is to actually create a separate email, and the reason being is that sometimes the person might actually try to forward or to reply to that email that he or she has received, and then reply to some people that should not be replied to. So if you create a separate email, you would get that email from one particular email address, and you can reply to that particular email address on its own. So basically, once we have set all this, so once again we went and set up some checkout options here, then we set up the shopping cart options here, my cart link, shopping cart sidebar, payment fail emails. So once we're happy with this, and once we have entered all the information, we can go and hit on save configuration. And that is pretty much it. Once again, we'll find this information here. The configuration has been saved. So everything we have done, we have created some settings, and we have set some settings for our checkout, and also you can see that this website is still under construction. So this is basically how you would set your checkout point.